Browns fans, the 2026 NFL Draft just became a nightmare scenario for anyone wanting a new quarterback, and it forces our hand in a major way because the door has slammed shut on the easy way out, and like it or not, the keys to the franchise are falling right back into Shedeur Sanders' lap. So buckle up, Cleveland, we have no other choice, and I'm going to tell you why that might actually be a good thing. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and if you want the raw, unfiltered truth about this team every single day, do me a huge favor and hit the like button right now. Share this video with a friend who is panicking, and make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss a single update on this crazy offseason. Let's get right into the major news that broke yesterday, because it changes absolutely everything for the Cleveland Browns going forward. Oregon quarterback Dante went live on SportsCenter and dropped a bombshell announcement that he is returning to school for another year. He is not entering the draft. Do you realize what this does to the board? Moore was projected to be a top 2 pick lock. With him officially gone, this 2026 quarterback class just fell off a cliff. Let's be real with each other, it is arguably the worst quarterback class we have seen in recent memory. You have the Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza sitting at the very top, and then it is a complete wasteland. It is Mendoza and then a bunch of guys who wouldn't even be day 2 picks in a normal year. Here is the cold hard reality we are facing. We are sitting at the 6th overall pick in the draft. Unless we trade the farm, and I mean literally everything, to move up to number 1 with the Raiders, we are not getting Mendoza. And I don't know about you, but I am done mortgaging our future for a gamble. So the draft is essentially dead for quarterbacks. If you were one of the people hoping we would just draft a savior at number 6, the dream is over, because the talent simply isn't there. Okay, so you say let's look at free agency, right? Have you seen the list? It is a graveyard out there. We are talking about recycled versions of Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, guys we have already seen fail, or guys who are just bridge options to nowhere. Do you really want Marcus Mariota? Do you want Aaron Rodgers at age 42? No thank you. The market is incredibly weak, and none of those guys move the needle for a team that wants to win now. This leaves us with one name and one reality: Shedeur Sanders. I know the fan base is split on him, I see the comments every day, but hear me out. We saw legitimate flashes from Shedeur this year. And frankly, we are going to see a lot more of him next year, because it is the only logical move left on the table. And honestly, I think this is the best case scenario for us. Think about it financially for a second. We drafted him in the 5th round. He is on a rookie deal. He costs us absolutely nothing against the salary cap. Compare that to spending $40 or $50 million on a washed-up veteran. We have nothing to lose here. We saw 7 starts from him this year, and let's be honest, he was the best quarterback we put on that field all season. I want to ask you a serious question: did he ever really get a fair shot, or was he set up to fail from day one? Because when we look at the analytics, specifically pressure percentage versus sack conversion, it tells a wild story. Shedeur was getting pressure in his face on over 40% of his dropbacks. That is absurd. He was running for his life more than any other quarterback in the NFL. But here is the kicker: look at his sack rate. Despite having defenders in his lap constantly, he is in the top half of the league at avoiding the sack. He is slippery. He extends plays. We saw mobility we didn't even know he had. He turned broken plays into positives. And remember, he was never supposed to play this year. Kevin Stefanski didn't want him. The plan was Dillon Gabriel, remember that? The Dillon Gabriel era that lasted about 5 minutes? Yeah, that was a joke. Shedeur was thrown into the fire with 0 reps, with the ones running for his life behind a broken offensive line, throwing to guys he barely knew. And he still made plays. He was literally the 4th-string quarterback in camp and ended up being the starter. So here is the roadmap for 2026. Next year, Shedeur finally gets a full offseason. He gets starter reps in training camp. And most importantly, we use our assets to actually help him. We have the 6th pick. You don't take a reach quarterback there. You take the best offensive tackle on the board. You spend money in free agency on guards. You rebuild this offensive line from scratch because it has been awful. And we are getting a new head coach. Someone who isn't conservative. Stefanski held him back, we all saw it. The vanilla game plans the fear of the big play. Shedeur is a gunslinger. He wants to push the ball downfield. Yes, he had some bad plays, but he also had 50-yard strikes that made you jump out of your seat. We need a coach who unlocks that, not one who hides it. We also need to get him a real weapon because Jerry Jeudy is not that guy. We need a stud receiver to help the quarterback out. This brings me to the big question of the day, and I want you to be honest in the comments down below. I am going to pin this one. Question of the day is this. If you were the GM, are you handing the keys to Shedeur Sanders for Week 1 of 2026, or are you desperate enough to trade 3 first-round picks to get to the number 1 spot? I want you to type S for Shedeur or T for trade below. I really want to know where your heads are at, because for me the trade is suicide for the franchise. Here is why rolling with Shedeur is a win-win situation. If we fix the line, get a new coach, and Shedeur balls out, then amazing. We found our franchise QB in the 5th round and we are contenders. But if he struggles? Guess what? We haven't wasted any draft capital. And the 2027 quarterback class? It is stacked. It is not even close. In 2027 you have Arch Manning. You have Dante Moore coming out for real. Julian Sayin at Ohio State will be eligible. Lanoris Sellers is a beast. John Mateer, Sam Levitt, the list goes on. Even Dylan Raiola might be in the mix depending on his redshirt situation. The options are endless. So why force a pick for a mediocre guy like Mendoza's backups this year when you can build a super team around Shedeur, give him a real chance, and if he fails you draft a superstar in 2027 to walk into a perfect situation? It is just common sense to wait. Now let's talk about who is going to be leading this team, because we have some major updates on the coaching search. It is official, John Harbaugh is off the board. He is heading to the New York Giants. We predicted it right here on the channel and it happened. And the bad news for us is that it looks like Todd Monken is following him there to be the offensive coordinator. So scratch those 2 off your wish list immediately. So who is left? If you ask me right now, the name gaining the most buzz inside the building is Grant Udinski. He has done incredible work as the Jaguars' offensive coordinator. He is young, he is innovative, and he fits the mold of what this front office wants. Another name to watch is Dan Pitcher, the Bengals OC. He has ties to Andrew Berry from their days back in Indianapolis. Or maybe Mike McDaniel if he becomes available, though that is a long shot. There is also Nate Shilhasa over with the Rams, a young smart offensive mind who is rising up the ranks fast. Or, and don't kill the messenger here, they might just promote Jim Schwartz to head coach to keep the defense together and bring in a new OC. I know it is not the sexy pick, but it is a distinct possibility if they strike out on the big offensive names. I want you to predict it right now in the comments. Who do you think will be the head coach on opening day? Look, I know this season was rough. We missed the playoffs. It was ugly at times. But we finished strong. We won our last 2 games against AFC North rivals. We haven't lost a game in 2026 yet technically. I am actually starting to feel, dare I say it, optimistic. We have a top 5 defense. We have a young core. We are about to fix the offensive line. How are you feeling right now? Type O for optimistic or P for pessimistic in the comments. Let me know the vibe, because I know we have been hurt before, but the logic says we are in a decent spot. We are going to be tracking this coaching search every single day. If Grant Udinski or anyone else gets on a plane to Cleveland, you will hear it here first. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. I appreciate you all hanging out with me and letting me vent a little bit. I will see you in the next one.